This is a new C8 Corvette, and there's been a lot of talk online about the worst problem with this car, the worst thing there is that really affects the driving dynamics of it on the street and on the racetrack. So in today's episode, I want to go over that and really break down what it means. This thing does not get old, man. I am not joking about it. Plus, once you take it to a back road like this and you hear the engine just pop and crackle through each upshift, it gets so addicting. The DCT just escalates it to the next level. But I do want to cover one thing. Let's go ahead and roll up my window right now so you can hear it better. Now, I do want to cover something that so many people have been asking me, and it's all about the understeer of the C8 Corvette. And now I've been hearing so many comments just all over just a ballpark about it, that being, well, the understeer is catastrophic, it's too much, it's crazy. Then people are saying, oh, it's subtle, it's not too bad. And other people are just going, well, should I just wait for the Z06? Because what if they fix that? Is this car built and designed for the average owner so that it does understeer instead of oversteering, which is making the car more safe? Because as you guys know, understeer is when you turn the car and it's not exactly rotating. The front end, it starts losing grip so that the car doesn't turn, right? It's literally understeering, right? And oversteering is when you're turning the car and then let's say the back end starts rotating around you because, well, it's oversteering. I've tracked this car a handful of times now, I think 5 or 6 times at different racetracks, specifically at Willow Springs Raceway and Laguna Seca. Tracking this car, I've said so many good things about it. I don't think I've said much of anything negative, honestly, and all of what I've said has been completely opinionated by me. I'm not trying to give you guys biased feedback, anything like that. No, this is from an honest ownership experience. So with that being said, I haven't talked much about the understeer of the C8 Corvette and what exactly it means, because I'll be completely honest with you guys, it doesn't affect me. It really doesn't affect me that much. Once you start tracking cars and going to the racetrack more and more, you start realizing, well, you know what? The most significant part about tracking your car comes from you, the driver's skill. And once you maximize your abilities, your techniques, then you can use what the car truly has, all of its potential. So when you track the C8 Corvette, someone might get too much oversteer, someone might get too much understeer. It all depends on your driving input. That being, if you're not familiar with how to rotate a car into a corner, especially at the racetrack, there's a lot more to it than just swinging the wheel to the left or the right. I mean, once you're at the limit of a car, you want to make sure that your inputs are making the car maintain perfect balance. That's why you see auto rev matching with manual cars at the racetrack. If you were to slam the car in a lower gear and not blip it, the car is going to engine brake and upset the balance, and the rear end might get knocked out for a second. Also in corners, if you shifted mid-corner the C8 Corvette, the shifts are smoothened out so that the balance of the car is not getting upset. So when you're putting down fast laps, it's all about maintaining proper balance with your car. And a major aspect of that is how you're using your pedals. You don't really get a good feel for this car in mountain back roads, I think, just because the limit of these modern performance cars, honestly, you can't reach them on the street. And, well, you should. If you try, you should do it because it's just not safe. I've seen videos online of people driving a C8 Corvette for a review on a mountain back road, and they're just turning right, trying to hold 40 miles an hour in a corner, and the car may start understeering. However, though, don't take that so literally. If you see a video of someone trying to show the understeer, consider their driving inputs, because I saw one where they're mashing the gas mid-corner and it's a decreasing radius corner, which means the corner gets tighter and tighter. Now, when you apply gas, as you know, it shifts the weight of the car to the rear. Therefore, the front end is losing grip. Now, once you get on the brakes, it transfers the grip from the back to the front, that being if you're on the throttle, then onto the brakes. Now, the key is, though, maintaining proper weight over the front axle, proper grip to get the vehicle turned in and rotated for each corner. So let me demonstrate weight transfer. Right now, launching the car. The car puts down the power. The entire front end is lifted up, and then getting on the brakes, you'll notice that the front end dips back down. So basically what's happening here is that this transfer of weight is either allowing the back end to put down the power or the front end the grip to turn the car. Brake to the floor, gas to the floor. You notice how the entire back end, it went straight down, it squatted, and then the front end just shot right up. That's what I'm talking about. Now imagine getting on gas. What does that do? Well, the front end starts picking up and you're losing grip. Now let me show you what happens when we brake. So let's say if I didn't apply brake or throttle, the car is neutral balanced throughout the corner and it'll turn in just fine. When you see a corner, maybe brush the brake, get the front end pointed in, then get on gas. If you go to a decreasing radius corner, maybe like this one, and you just get on gas now, what's gonna happen is that the entire car is just gonna get shot outwards and it might start understeering. So when you see videos online showcasing the understeer characteristics of the C8 Corvette, just keep in mind of their driver inputs, because most of the time I'd say the understeer of the C8 Corvette has everything to do with the driver inputs, because on track, I don't get it. And I've tracked this car at Willow Springs Raceway, Laguna Seca, and the car is so planted and it just turns in for each corner. And there's many reasons as to why. So that's the one thing I'd say people aren't understanding. You can make any car understeer. I can make my GT350R understeer, and that is just based on physics. Some cars may be more prone to understeer. However, there's one easy way to fix it, that being driver input. On the racetrack, what I'm doing to get this car rotated is that I'm threshold braking for the high-speed straights, and then for the corner, I'm trailer braking right into the corner. And if you're wondering what that means, it's when I'm on the brakes to slow down the car, right? However, I'm still on the brakes, so gradually letting off to rotate the front of the car because I still have the braking force to get the front end to grip and turn. I'll try to show that right now. So getting on throttle, coming over here, getting on the brakes, I can feel the weight transfer to the front of the car. The front end has grip. Still on the brakes, slowly letting off. The front end's rotated, give gas. It's right here. Car is not understeering. So I don't know where these guys are trying to showcase how bad the understeer is of the C8 Corvette, because with proper driving inputs, the car doesn't do it. The key is this: learn the car you're driving, get used to it, then apply the right driving techniques. If I got inside my GT500, that car, I could say it's oversteer happy. However, if I drive it smooth enough, then the car does not oversteer. Does that make any sense? The idea is this: learn the car you have, and then based on that, do what you have to do to maintain proper grip and also to keep the right balance for the vehicle. Driving a C8 Corvette, it feels so natural because I can tell instantly what the car wants from me. If the car is not rotating all the way, well, maybe get off the gas a bit, maybe brush the brake to get the front end pointed in, just apply different techniques. And then once you do that, the car is easy to drive fast. There's no issues with it. It's all about maintaining that balance. I just say this, when it comes from my experience so far, from tracking this, hours of track time with this vehicle, I don't deal with understeer. However, I do have the track camber settings, so I can't comment too much on the performance of the stock camber alignment. The way this car is set up, it's got so much grip towards the rear end that it just wants to put down the power. It doesn't want to kick out from under you. It's not like a high horsepower front engine car with really skinny back tires for the tail end just goes, slides out from under you, nothing like that. This car, it wants to grip. It doesn't have the personality of, let's say, a 911 or a Mustang. No, this has got a completely different personality. The mechanical grip on this car is so much different than a C7. So when you try to whip a C7 around, it's obviously not gonna have the understeer that the C8's gonna have. I would not say that it hinders the performance by any means of this car. I don't even notice it. You see how many times I've tracked this car. It's not an issue. And I feel like I'm confident enough to say that because we have 8,000 miles on this car. We picked it up in Kentucky, drove to California, put on the track camera settings, tracked it at Willow and Laguna a handful of times, and I'm still having a blast with it because I want to share with you guys what it's truthfully like from an owner's perspective. And I'm not bought by anybody. I'm not trying to be biased, anything like that. This is just from me personally. And to think about how the Z06, the ZR1, all those variants would be even better, I can't imagine what they're gonna be like. You know what I'm trying to do? I'm gonna try to see if I can get understeer. That's gonna be a fun one. Here we go, understeer. Can we get it? Nope, nothing right there. Here we go, understeer. This is where you would try to see. Nope, never got it right there. And that's, I don't know how much faster we go in that kind of zone, but unless, see, no, it doesn't even do that. it spins. So I really don't know, man. This is really funny to me. Man, you guys hear the fans running right now? This is so fun. I cannot get over this, you know that? Like I mentioned earlier, a lot of you have been reaching out to me asking me, hey, does this car really suffer from understeer? And from my opinion, you know, driving and having it for as long as we have, in all reality, the understeer, even if there is any, your driver input makes it all go away. It's not like it's the worst thing ever, and if you drive the car right, you're not going to experience the understeer. And I've talked to another C8 Corvette owner who tracked his car to Laguna Seca, and I don't recall him mentioning understeer at all to me. So it really just comes down to, let's say if you drive too aggressively, this car, it might do that. And like you guys saw, when I get on the brakes, the entire front end just goes down. And by doing that, the front tires get extra grip. If you are coming to a corner and you're going pretty hot, I recommend getting on the brakes and slow down the car, and then gently start lifting off on the brake, but you're still riding it, and that provides for what trail braking is. Use that to get the nose of the car pointed in for the corner, and then get on gas. You know what, I do want to mention this. If you have seen this car understeer at all in our track videos at Laguna Seca, the likelihood of me causing it is pretty high, because sometimes I'm missing the apex, I'm still learning the track, and also I'm getting the gas too early, I'm not trail braking long enough. And speaking of trail braking, you don't have to be too hard on the brakes the entire time. Just by scathing the brakes, you'll be really surprised how much grip it gives the front end of the car. So keep that in mind. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So let's get inside. We're on the racetrack, we're going full throttle on a main straightaway. Now we're coming into a corner going around 90 miles an hour. Hard brake, not all the way to the floor, because that might kick in the ABS. And by doing that, the car might not slow down in the fastest way possible. The idea is to find the threshold where the car slows down with the maximum braking force, but the ABS does not start kicking in. Now the idea is to start turning the car while slowly letting off on the brake like this, but maintaining brake force. Once you do that, get back on the gas. The number one thing is learn your car. If you're coming in from a C7 and you get in this car and you start experiencing understeer, it's really the balance of this vehicle, the way it's designed. Now, once you've learned the car, then start improving yourself as a driver and start using the proper techniques to get the car to turn. And is there issues? No. The car performs just right. Anyways, hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, really help me out, and also subscribe for much more great C8 Corvette content. And don't forget to comment down below what you think of the understeer characteristics of this car. Do you own a C8 Corvette? Have you experienced it before? And do you agree with what I have to say about, as the driver, you really play a huge part with the balance of a vehicle? Thanks again. I'll see all of you in the next episode.